So this video has been coming into place for the last couple of months. It was around mid-April that I started to notice and become critical of Trump's America First position. I posted a video later that month where I talked about Trump's buddying up to Israel and how he's made statements saying that he will do more for Israel than Biden has done. It was really disappointing to see him abandon the anti-war position, but like I said in that video, I can't say I'm surprised. And unfortunately, ever since then, Trump has now gone more and more off course, where he's now talking about giving immigrant college graduates green cards. Like, this reminds me of the amnesty bill that was proposed in 2013 by Marco Rubio, except this time it's proposed by Trump. Yeah, the one guy who made it very clear that he wants to stop the flood of migrants coming into our country is now saying, yeah, if you graduate from a scam system, you're just as American as the rest of us. Actually, now that I say it out loud, that does sound pretty American. No, but like, you get my point. We have no reason to accept these people into our country. Our country can't handle that massive cultural shift that would happen if we allow something like that. And it's so disappointing to see Trump, the leader of America First, advocate for that. It's not America First. It's not what I voted for. And I think Trump's going to continue it as this election goes on. So because of that, we now have to discuss why Trump is doing it. Some people may say, oh, well, this is just talk. This is just Trump winning over the swing voters. That may be true with the immigration green cards, although I can see big corporate leaders wanting immigrants into our country because they cost less. So that specific issue, I'm not too sure about. Plus now there's this resurfaced tweet from 2015 that has Trump saying pretty much the exact same thing. So again, that one, it kind of looks like he's been like that the entire time. But the Israel support, no, I'm sorry. That's Trump being 100% bought out. And there are two major reasons for why I believe that. One, look who's donating to his campaign. There's a reason why he was behind Biden and then is now caught up or maybe even surpassed Biden now. It's because Jewish donors came to Trump saying, hey, if you advocate for our war, we'll give you money. And I guess you could deny that Jewish people gave him money, but it's right there. Like, this guy's a New York businessman. You're telling me he doesn't have Jewish money? I think you're just fooling yourself if you're trying to say, oh no, Trump's 100% non-corrupt. Now, the second reason, though, is, I guess, not as fact-based, but it's something that I really believe in and I think shows that Trump is not the same as he was in 2016. First off, let's establish something. We all know that Trump is like this genius marketer. I don't think anyone could have done what he did in 2016, and that's because he understands two things: the game of politics and the game of marketing. He knew what the people wanted to hear, and he gave it to them. He fed them what they wanted in 2016. And Trump still clearly has that marketing genius today. A good example of that is back in April, Trump started to tell Republicans to chill on abortion because he understands that that's a losing issue. But then when it comes to marketing Israel-Palestine, it's a completely different story. If you don't know, support for Israel is incredibly unpopular in the United States. Not just crazy right-wing America Firsters, but even progressive and leftists who just don't want to see a genocide being committed are rightfully against Israel on this issue. And that huge bubble of people who are leftists and progressives who are against this war are also against Biden because he's funding it. So we now have this huge group of people who don't want to support Biden and don't want to see wars. So what does the genius marketer Trump do?
Under my leadership, the United States will fully support Israel defeating, dismantling, and permanently destroying the terrorist group Hamas.
Israel's the one that wants to go. He said the only one who wants to keep going is Hamas. Actually, Israel is the one, and you should let him go and let him finish the job. He doesn't want to do it. He's become like a Palestinian, but they don't like him because he's a very bad Palestinian. He's a weak one.
Every single life that is lost in this conflict is on the shoulders of Hamas, Hamas alone. It's Hamas alone. And I think you have to really add in the word Iran. Iran. People don't want to talk about it.
Like, do you understand how stupid of a decision that is? Biden literally just set him up for the perfect dunk. But instead of dunking it in and creating this awesome moment, Trump turns a blind eye to the winning position, all because Jews gave him money. So now we're stuck in an election where the three candidates are Israeli puppets. Biden, Trump, RFK Jr., none of them are anti-war. None of them are anti-Israel. And because of that, my drive to vote for Trump is practically gone. Like last year, I was so pumped to vote for him because he had the mugshot, the indictments, but now he's just bowing to Israel. So now that hard scowl on Trump's face isn't as cool anymore when I start to think about, oh yeah, that's the same guy kissing Israel's ass. It's become even clearer now that this isn't 2016 Trump. This is a beat up, tired, worn down Trump. And I was a little worried that people weren't going to talk about this. It's no secret that if you're in the Republican Party, you do not criticize Trump. You lose a lot of credit, you lose an endorsement from him, and you just don't want to be on his bad side. But I have to say, I was really pleasantly surprised when I saw Nick Fuentes come out against Trump. Not only do I agree with all of these statements, but it really shows that Nick is here for the movement. He's actually voicing the America First position and is fighting off the idiots who don't understand it or are slandering it. Take Tim Pool, for example.
Here's the problem. When Nick Fuentes says independence from Israel, I assure you the average person believes that's ridiculous. They have their audience. The average person likes Israel. They do not agree with Nick Fuentes on this one. The other big issue is that a lot of Christians and a lot of evangelicals want us to help Israel because of the Holy Land. Regardless, my attitude is this: my guy, I'm trying to go to people and say, America first. And the first thing that pops in their minds is Nick Fuentes hates Israel. What does that have to do with us securing our borders, bringing jobs back, getting rid of people like Joe Biden, getting accountability for the corruption, cleaning up our streets? No idea. No idea. I believe, whether intentionally or not, it is sabotaging the idea of America first. They take the name, they take the brand, and they taint it. They poison the well. That's why a lot of people accuse him of being a Fed. I don't know about all that. What I can tell you is there's a lot of people who aren't going to say America first because Nick Fuentes certainly is the most famous person pushing that message. Now, I do get it. Donald Trump pushes that message too, but Nick has run this brand. And so what happens is a lot of people are going to begin to associate America first with strict anti-Israel policy. I don't care about Israel. I don't want to fund Israel. It means as much to me as Burma and Saudi Arabia does. I have questions about our funding of all of these places.
What a retard. Not only is he wrong about Americans loving Israel, but he also starts bitching about, oh, how does anti-Israel save the border, protect our country? Retard. Look at the billions we send them. Yeah, maybe those billions could be better used in our homeland. But yeah, no idea, Tim Pool. You know, I'm starting to think maybe Yale is also right about Tim Pool being a Fed. Tim is trying to say Nick is ruining America first, is poisoning America first by being anti-Israel, when being America first means you're anti-Israel. It's all nonsense, and if I had to give Tim Pool a label, I don't know if it would be Zionist. For me, I think it would be MAGA. Now I've talked about the differences between MAGA and America First, but the biggest one is Israel. A perfect example that I love repeating is Trump's Truth Social. If you look at the comments of Trump's pro-Israel Truth Social posts, you either see MAGA, who comment stuff like, oh, we support Israel, we stand with Israel, pray for Israel, or you may see comments from America First that are saying, fuck Israel, this is their own war, we don't want anything to do with this. That to me is the perfect example of the difference between MAGA and America First. But it's not just policies that are different, it's also who we view as opposition. Like I see Trumpies get focused on the baby-eating pedophiles or the Biden crime family. Like I agree those are issues and those are, a part of the opposition, but let's focus on the main source of those issues, and that is the chokehold Israeli influence has on America. It's like that meme or whatever, where it's like, it's not the globalist, it's not the elites, it's the Jew. And all of this isn't to say MAGA is bad, but it's to point out the real difference between the two movements. America First is more extreme, and at some point, we're gonna have to battle out our differences and win. And I think Tim Pool's stupid arguments are a sign of what's to come. But unfortunately today, in this election, we're stuck with the bought out MAGA leader, Donald Trump. Now I'm still voting for Trump because my issues don't just end with Israel and the power they hold over the United States. Overall, Trump policies I agree with way more than Biden and RFK, and I think Trump will still do a lot of good things. But most importantly, I think Trump will leave the country in a much better place for us in 2028 than Biden or RFK Jr. would. And it's not completely over yet. Well, by the time this is out, it might actually be over. But if you were to go onto my Twitter right now, you'd see that I'm heavily pushing for VP Ramaswamy. And I would heavily encourage anyone who is America First to do the same. I understand he's Hindu and that's obviously not what we want, but I mean, I'd rather take an honest Hindu with morals than a fake Christian like JD Vance who has zero morals. Like, at least he's honest enough to say his real faith, you know? But on top of that, Vivek, to this day, is still the only candidate who has criticized and has even mentioned stopping aid to Israel. I think he's still on that gear of let's stop Israel aid by 2028, which I'd like it to be sooner, but I'll take it. Overall though, I think Vivek is actually America First and is the businessman Trump needs in the White House who could stand next to him and give him policies that are actually America First. Candace is fighting for Vivek, and I'd hope Nick is too, but I can see him not doing it because of the whole Christianity thing. Either way though, I'm Team Vivek, and I encourage any of you guys to check him out or to check out any of my videos where I look at him. You know, get an understanding of why other America Firsters like Candace Owens are so happy with Vivek. But that's all from me. I'd love any feedback, and I'm super curious on what you guys think of Trump 2024, America First versus MAGA, and Vivek. And if you want to hear me talk about the current battle that's going on in the Republican Party between neocons and America Firsters, go check out my video that's about to be recommended to you. And if you want to show me support, a like and sub is always appreciated. And a follow on Twitter. Thanks for the time. Have a good one. Peace.
This the Game of Thrones, Yeezy not the clones. Elon with my rocket ship, it's time to go home. They served us the part since the day we was born.